I'm gonna get out some of this word real quick, and real so why so angry? Why so angry? I know as we as a generation are overwhelmed, ripping and running constantly. Constantly. When I say pressure cookers, I mean us are daily. Moving by the millisecond, moving, trying to get things done, trying to figure things out. And we end up angry. Angry, I mean fuming. You ready to take somebody's head off. You ready to take somebody's head off. And I know when I used to have moments where I used to spaz out so much, I realized it was a sense of control. It was a fear-based anger. I had to be real with that, with myself when it came to that. So when I think about anger, one of the many forms of anger, it can stem from stress. Stress causes anger, right? You know that I've been holding it in too long type of anger. You know how it is when you're constipated and you got to use the bathroom. Your body get a little bit extra tight though, right? This is exactly how your personality is. It's exactly how your attitude is. You're constipated. You mad at everything. You mad at everything. You're frustrated. You're tired. You're overwhelmed. Somebody took the last donut in the break room and you ready to fight. Yeah, you're ready to fight. You been holding in how you feel, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, who you should hang around with, stuff you don't agree, stuff that you don't agree with, that you don't. And here you are, putting on that smile. It is. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. I hear you, bro. I hear you, sis. But you don't agree with that. You're losing it. You frustrated because you've been talking to the same person who don't want no help financially, as in they don't want to develop no skill, but they always want money from you when you get paid. You're tired of that one friend that continue to go back to that young man who continue to abuse her verbally and physically. You tired of that. You're overwhelmed that your whole family members depend on you when you get paid, you when you get in shape, you when you get the status, you when you get the business going, you're tired. So that stress takes a toll on us. That type of stress breaks us down. I mean, breaks us down to the smallest fragment because we have nowhere to put it. No release. That's a problem. You ever see a person who constipated with a smile on their face? I haven't. So you think about a biblical example. Moses, right? He's striking a rock. That's in Numbers 20, 10, and 11. God told him to speak to the rock, but Moses was fed up 40 years of complaints. Ungrateful people, lack of rest got the best of him. So instead of listening, he hit the rock in frustration. And it cost him the promised land. Have you ever been in a space where you dealt with somebody or somebody in your family tree and they're ungrateful and they complain and they don't give you no rest? You come up, you show up for them. You right there. You that whole butler, that whole waitress. You there for them, moving by the millisecond for them, and yet they say unappreciative. Still, they leave you frustrated, and then you end up like Moses. Instead of talking to the rock, you striking it. So instead of you thriving in the business, it sink. Instead of that relationship going to the moon, it goes to the funeral home. Because your emotions got the best of you. Your emotions got the best of you. Emotions are great servants but horrible masters. They're great servants, but they're horrible masters. Them emotion, when Paul explained on how not to be intoxicated, he wasn't talking about alcohol. He's talking about your emotions, because 5 minutes could turn into 5 years. 5 years could turn into a personality. A personality could keep you mentally in prison, mentally. And all of a sudden, that personality that really was only supposed to be a person, you hold on to it. You hold on to it. Yep. You hold on to them emotions. You hold on to what happened, what didn't happen, who should have stood up for you, who didn't stand up for you, over, over, over again. Sometimes you're not mad at your spouse, your kids, your coworker. You're mad because you haven't had peace in months. And instead of fixing the pressure, message, instead of fixing your boundaries, instead of fixing your self-esteem, instead of you fixing your prayer life, instead of you fixing things that damage in your life by having a professional assist you or deal with it for you, instead of you fixing the pressure, you yelling at the steam. Yeah. You're yelling at the steam. Yeah. Hard to reflect, hard to understand, and a lot of us have a hard time with understanding that, because we feel as people, we got to figure it out. We just gotta, you putting your faith in your own capabilities. Your arrogance is causing you to not seek help. Your pride is gonna get you hurt, literally or metaphorically. Is it worth it? You act like it is. You act like it is. I know. This brief. Let me give y'all another measure. So, besides stress-based anger, we have jealous-based anger. The why them and not me kind of anger. Biblical example, Cain and Abel. In the book of Genesis, explain how Cain wasn't mad at Abel. He was mad at God accepted Abel's offering and not his. So instead of asking, what could I do to be better? He chose to slay his brother. Slay his brother. Some of us are doing that right now with people. They got a promotion, a job, the marriage, they lost the weight, they got the position that you always wanted. And instead of you finding out ways how you can improve yourself, you spaz out. That jealousy takes a toll on us in the worst way. That jealousy got us believing that it's everybody else's fault and not yours. This is where the accountability comes in. This is when we have a shortage of accountability, because we don't want to grow. We don't want to accept. We want to blame the person who got the promotion, the person who got married, the person who lost weight, the person who opened up the business, the person who started the ebook. Instead of you reflecting on what happened in you. See, the real issue is you don't hate them. You really hate that they did what you were too lazy to do. They disciplined their flesh, made sacrifices, and now you mad. Maybe the issue isn't them. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Or if it's not stress-based anger, you might not feel like that applies to you. Jealous-based anger, you might not feel like that applies to you. It could be a fear-based anger. That's why defense mechanism comes in. I'm really not mad. I'm just scared, but anger feels safer. Instead of admitting vulnerability, you lash out. You you lash out. King Saul versus David in 1 Samuel chapter 18. Saul wasn't mad at David slayed Goliath. He was scared David was going to take his spot. So he let fear of being replaced turn into anger. Some of y'all are spazzing at people God help God sent to help you because their presence exposes your insecurity. Yep, expose your insecurity. I know. If you always mad at people trying to take your spot, maybe the problem isn't them. Maybe it's your lack of confidence in the spot that God given you. That God given you. I know. Just take a moment. Take a moment. Where some of you might not think is stress-based anger. Some of you guys might not think is jealous-based anger. Some of you guys might not think it's not fear-based anger. Some of y'all might have the tantrum type of anger. The I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm flipping out in anger. So you don't want justice. You don't want resolution. You want it away. Your way. What Usher was saying, my way. Right. That's your problem right there. You want things your way. Bible. Jonah soaking over Nineveh. In Jonah chapter 4, God forgave Nineveh and Jonah got mad. He didn't want them saved, he wanted them punished. And when God didn't do it, he threw a fit. Sounds familiar? Oh, I know it do. I know. Yeah. So you're mad because life didn't bend near to your will. You're grown, not five. Just maybe God knows what he's doing. You know what type of anger that is okay to have? Not the fear anger, not the stress-based anger, not the tantrum-based anger. The righteous anger, that kind of hit different. Righteous anger is when anger is justified. This is the only anger that God approves of, when it's fueled by injustice, not selfishness. In the Bible reference, Jesus flipping tables in the temple, Matthew 21, 12 and 13. He wasn't angry because he had a bad day. People were perverting his father's house. Righteous anger. So you make it modern. People fighting against trafficking, poverty, corruption. Being mad at someone got a promotion, you childish. Being mad at kids being exploited, that's righteousness. So ask yourself, when you had these moments, so you let your emotions get the best of you and you starting to get fueled up, is it about me or is it bigger than me? Am I mad at them or myself? Is my anger pushing me to be better or am I lashing out? Just a thought. Big business.